What is up, you guys, and welcome to the Chosen League podcast, where fire sports content is the name of the game. I'm your host, Devin. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. Watch this episode all the way to the end because I don't want you guys missing out what I have in store for you today. So the Memphis Grizzlies have came to their final decision. They decided to part ways with Taylor Jenkins, head coach Taylor Jenkins, and this blows my mind because this kind of reminds me of the situation with the Sacramento Kings. I'll get into that, give you guys the comparison between this situation and Kings. But you're talking about the Grizzlies, a 44-30 record, fifth in the West, and you decide to part ways with the head coach. Why? But here we go. Taylor Jenkins' his history, spent 5 years as a head assistant coach with the Atlanta Hawks, 1 year as an assistant coach with the Milwaukee Bucks, and he spent 6 years as a head coach for the Memphis Grizzlies. A 250 win, 215 loss. That's his record in the regular season, and in his playoff record, he's 9-14. 2019 through 2020 season, he got Western Conference Coach of the Month in January. Then 2021-22 season, what he earned the Western Conference Coach of the Month award in December, and then 2022-23 season Western Conference Coach of the Month in March. So like I said, they're fifth in the West. Before I even go more in depth with what I'm talking about here, question for discussion: who's to blame for Taylor Jenkins being fired by the Memphis Grizzlies? Who's to blame? Let's get to it. Grizzlies GM Memphis Grizzlies general manager Zach Kleiman told reporters on Saturday that he did not consult players before deciding to fire head coach Taylor Jenkins with 9 games remaining in the regular season. Ja Morant himself comes in and says, "It's tough for me." Morant said following Saturday's 134-127 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers, that was the last game they played. "It's my first time really experiencing a coach leaving since I've been hooping. It was a lot to process." And he was there when Ja Morant got drafted. That's crazy. Tim McMahon. ESPN's Tim McMahon reported Monday on the Hoop Collective podcast surprising decision to fire Jenkins was about optimizing Ja Morant. Wow. So you mean to tell me a head coach did everything he needed to do? Y'all fifth in the West, and we about to go into the playoffs, and y'all fire this man? Memphis Grizzlies, another dysfunctional franchise, just like the Sacramento Kings, because that's what I'm getting. Look at it. You're wanting to optimize Ja Morant. This is basketball. This ain't hero ball. This is basketball. It's a team sport. Understand, Ja Morant's the star player. Look at Michael Jordan. He was a star player. But guess what? When he had Doug Collins, guess what? The ball was in his hands. It was the ball. It was about optimizing Michael Jordan. What happened when Phil Jackson came in? Oh, take the ball out of Michael Jordan's hand. Let's pass the ball around to everybody else on the roster. Let's get that team chemistry going. Everybody else has a skill set. Everybody else has a role, so they have to play their part. It ain't about John Morant. It's about the Memphis Grizzlies. It's about basketball. Yeah, John Morant's the star player. He's the one that puts the team on his back and he does his thing. But you got Desmond Bain, you got all these other cats out here, and you go fire the head coach off of that. And I feel for John Morant because that's the head coach he knows for a long time, and just to go through that experience, it doesn't make sense. Like with the Kings, you go out, you got Mike Brown, coach of the year. He worked his way up, turned that whole franchise around. Everybody in the organization respected him. He went to the playoffs, and then that year, this year, he goes and gets he goes and plays for they go get DeMar DeRozan. Guess what happened? He didn't know what to do with DeMar DeRozan because DeMar DeRozan was disrupting the flow, the chemistry of the team. You can't have De'Aaron Fox and You can't have De'Aaron Fox and DeMar DeRozan going to work in the post. Both guys, like, you got two alphas on your team. You got two ball dominant guys. DeMontis Sabonis attacks the paint and is in the post. So now it destroys the chemistry. It messes up the chemistry. So now when you look at it, it pretty much makes sense. How, and that's what I'm saying. How can you fire a guy who's coach of the year and took you out to the playoffs twice? Plus, even throughout the organization, like people, oh, we loved Mike Brown. He did everything he needed to do. We didn't want to see him go. So what really was the problem? It's like with the Memphis Grizzlies. What was the real problem? Well, it was Taylor Jenkins because you wanted a coach that would cater to Ja Morant. Makes no sense, man. But we'll see how they do in the playoffs since they ain't got no head coach. But anyways, that is all for today's episode. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. I'm Devin, and I'm signing off.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show.